Hey guys, it's Tanya here. Thanks for watching. So today I happened to get in the mail 3 of the new Morphe palettes. These are the brand new 12 palettes that they've come out with. They launched 3 of them initially, and now I think they've launched 1 more, so there are 4 at this point. Now, what I think is really interesting about these palettes is they kind of sort of remind me of the Viseart palettes, or the Viseart. I think that's what they are trying to kind of aim these after, I want to say, because the colors are, they're really similar. So I'm going to go on my Sephora app just so you guys can see, because I only own 1 Viseart palette. I do want to pick up a few more, I've been meaning to, but they're crazy expensive. Yeah, so there are 4 of them now. I've got 3 of the 4. They did only launched the most recent one like just a couple of days ago. But these retail for $14.99 US dollars, so about $20 Canadian is what I'm figuring. And the colors are very similar to the one Viseart palette that I already have. Yeah, I do own the Sultry Muse palette. And we're going to do a direct comparison between the Sultry Muse palette and this one from Morphe, which is the 12S. And you guys can see, like, there's a lot of color similarity in this. Now, the other 2 that I got are the Morphe 12P, which looks an awful lot like the Viseart Bright Editorial. Like, yeah, eerie, right? So I think that that's what they're doing, is they're playing on the Viseart palettes and trying to get them to be very similar. I think this one, which is the Morphe 12Z, is kind of a combination between the Cool Matte palette from Viseart and the Bridal Satin. I would say this one's probably the one that doesn't have like an exact replica in the current Viseart palettes, but beautiful. So anyway, I want to go through, we're going to swatch these 2 first, the brights and the kind of like more smokier colors, because I want to just do straight, like, what are the quality of these eyeshadows, because I do own 2 other Morphe palettes. I own the Jaclyn Hill and I own the 35O, I think is what it is. And those are the only 2 palettes that I own, and I prefer the Jaclyn Hill to the 35O. I don't like any of Morphe's big palettes. I don't know, I find them to be a little bit chalky, a little bit powdery, but I love their single eyeshadows. Their single eyeshadows are wonderful. And with the Jaclyn Hill palette, what I was told was she literally picked all of her favorite singles and they put them into a palette, and that's why the quality was so good. The 35O is kind of like that. It's not bad quality, but it's definitely like, I have shadow textures that I prefer, but the colors in that palette are to die for. So let's just go in and straight swatch these. No primer, nothing, just a straight swatch. And then I will leave the other one for last, because I do want to do a direct comparison between that one and the one that I think is like what they built it after. So as you can see from the 12Z, I think this one is the Zodiac Smoky eyeshadow palette. So it has 12 colors. So we're just going to swatch the top row. So we have got this kind of shimmery silver. Okay. The trick is never what it looks like on the hand. It's always what it does when you swatch it out. So that one actually is kind of streaky, I will say. It feels a little bit more kind of cream in the palette, and it definitely is a little more streaky on my hand. Second application is less streaky. So that's the first silver. The next one, ooh, this feels, okay, this is more up my alley. This one is kind of just like a satin finish. This is good. Good pigmentation. The next one is kind of a plummy purple. Not bad. I think that one probably could use some buildup. Okay, that's good. And then the next one here is a bright kind of like satiny purple. This reminds me a lot of the purple out of the Bridal Satin palette, which is a palette that I've actually wanted to get because of this purple color in it. It actually is very nice. It does require some buildup. Like, you can get more color payoff from it, as you can see, if you build it up. So that's the first row. I would say overall the 3 satin finishes are beautiful. This one, which has more of like a cream texture, I think it's supposed to be an overlay, like you just kind of press it into the eye. That one definitely required a little more buildup than the other ones. Okay, so let's start on the next row. So we're gonna do this one first. I just want to show you guys just kind of like a straight swatch. This is also kind of a gummy. Ooh, this one's pretty though. This one also has that gummy texture, like the silver, but it definitely, oh my god. This one's no joke. Oh, that's really pretty. Let's do this kind of blue next to it. This is like a feels more like a satin. Oh my God. Okay, so second row is hitting it out of the park. The next one looks like a matte green. Now somebody said that every one of the shadows in this palette, I think I was watching somebody's review on this, and they said that every single shadow in this palette was shimmery. And I would disagree. There are definitely, well, there's definitely two mattes. The black and the forest green that I just swatched are both mattes. Okay, second row is bang on. Oh my God, you guys. I'm in love with that row. I could literally just live in that row of colors. Those are really pretty. Okay, last row in this Zodiac palette, we have this lime green color. Now this looks like it's gonna be that same gummy texture. Nope. This one's a little bit more of an eyeshadow texture. Ooh, it's pretty though. It's like a chartreuse green, really nice. And there's like a satiny blue. It's almost like a royal blue. Kind of like what's in my hair right now. Pretty, and really, really buildable. I'm not really pigmented, doesn't need to be built at all. Then we have this gray kind of black shimmery color, really nice. And then we have a matte black. Whoa, that matte black is good. I like matte blacks when they are just like, I'm a matte black. That is what I am. Beautiful. So I will say that that darker gray on the third row, this one right here, was probably the most powdery. It had a lot of fallout, but this gummy teal gorgeousness almost felt like a cream. Beautiful color payoff on that row. The bottom two rows of that palette are definitely wonderful, like wonderful. So now we're gonna start on the brights. Now this palette is entirely matte. The whole palette is mattes. There isn't any shimmer in any of these, which I kind of like. I like when we're playing with mattes. So we have a matte stark white. Woo, that's buttery. I wasn't expecting so much butter out of these. This is really smooth. The white you're barely gonna be able to see on my hand. It's definitely a white. Then we have this bright yellow. This one doesn't feel as buttery. This one's a little bit more, it was a little harder, but it definitely has some color payoff. I would definitely say that the yellow needs to be built, but I don't hate it. It's pretty. Okay, we're moving on to the bright lime green. This one's softer. So far the yellow is the hardest, and this one's definitely pigmented. That green though. This teal blue, oh, that's buttery. It's a little bit powdery, but remember that I'm using my finger, and generally palettes don't like my fingers, but it's, oh my God, it's beautiful. Look at that blue color. And let's do the orange, also very buttery. I'm trying to tell you guys the textures as I'm swatching them, because I think that different eyeshadows can hold different textures based on what ingredients is used in them. So far the only one in here that I found a little bit harder was the yellow. All the other ones are super, super buttery and really soft. Okay, so we're on to the pink. This is the bright pink. This one doesn't feel as buttery as some of the others, but wow, is it pigmented. Okay, red. I don't have a pure red eyeshadow, so if this is really pigmented, I'll be really happy. And it is, and it doesn't feel, again, the red and the pink are both harder than the others, but the yellow is still the hardest. Then this bright fuchsia, like purple color, gorgeous. I'm running out of hand space. Remember, these are no primer, you guys. Like, literally, this is just finger swatching. This dark, kind of beautiful blue-green. Oh. This reminds me of that Kat Von D color, which you guys know, I'm loving that Kat Von D color. I'm living for it. Aw, look how pretty this looks. That's really pretty, actually, when you get it all off your hand like that. It's really pretty. Okay, last three, we have this kind of brighter blue, but it's not like a green blue. Ooh, buttery soft. Oh my God. It reminds me so much of MAC's Electric Eel. That's what that reminds me of. Then we have a dark kind of purpley blue, like a navy maybe. That's really pretty. And then we also have a matte black in this. Now, I don't love that, but I understand why they did it. Not everyone's gonna buy all of these palettes. So of course it makes sense to double up on the colors that people use the most, like a matte black. So that's the last three. Oh. Okay, so the bright palette is definitely beautiful. I wish I owned the Viseart bright palette, but when I'm looking at a palette like that, whether they call it editorial brights or not, for somebody who works on charity fashion shows, and I do a lot of work in the industry, I don't think I would use a lot of those colors. I really don't. Like $100 for a palette that has colors that I know I won't use that often didn't seem very logical to me. But this, for $14.99, this is something you could use, and all of these are super, super pigmented, so I would recommend this big time. Okay, here's where we get into the comparison. So we have the 12S and we have the Sultry Muse. And I'm gonna swatch the colors. I kind of almost want to wait till Alex is home and swatch them on his biceps, because then we can actually see which ones are the most similar. So I'm gonna hold off on swatching these. I will come back in a couple hours. Alex is coming home tonight, and when he comes home, I will use his biceps to swatch these so we can actually do full comparisons, and I can let you guys know what I think of it. So yesterday I was swatching the new Morphe palettes for you guys. I swatched this one. Ooh. I swatched this one and this one yesterday. So before I got around to swatching this one, the 12F palette, I told you guys that I wanted to do a full comparison on the Viseart number 5 Sultry Muse palette, because as you can see, the colors look super similar, and I think that these are kind of almost dupes of each other. I'm not saying quality, because to me, whoop, the Viseart palettes are $80 American, $100 Canadian. These have some of the best quality eyeshadows I've ever used in my entire life. So I'm not saying like quality-wise they're going to be identical, but I think as far as color-wise, they're pretty close. And this is $14.99 American and this is 80 bucks. So let's just go through them. We're going to swatch them on Alex's arm. Now I'm not going to swatch them in order because I'm going to try and... But what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these ones in order, and then when I find one that I think is similar, I'm going to swatch the one I think is similar right next to it. So I hope that helps you guys understand it. So first row, starting up here, this lighter gold color. I need your skin.
You got my skin, baby. So
this is very creamy, kind of like those other metallic shades in the other palettes. Here. No, it's really, that one's gonna be really difficult to see. The one that I think is probably most like that in the Viseart palette, well, I'm gonna swatch it on my finger too so you guys can see it, but I think it might be this one. The Viseart one is probably more pink and less metallic. It could also be this one. Yeah, I don't know. They're not, those ones aren't going to be exact matches because that's definitely more of a gold than the other two. But just giving you guys an idea. So then the next color is this gold color.
Yeah.
This also feels like a creamy metallic.
That looks very similar.
There, now they can kind of see them.
That looks very similar.
So I'm going to just do that one with this yellow gold down here on the bottom, because those are the two that, well, this one's actually a very dirty gold, surprisingly. This is more metallic. This is the one from the Morphe. This is the Viseart. The one from the Morphe is definitely more metallic, but as far as color shades go, they're pretty bang on.
Excuse me, why are you using your hand? You have a perfectly good bicep right here.
Because they're closer. That's closer for them to see the color difference.
I can move in.
Next color is this gorgeous kind of rose gold, and I think this is going to be another creamy metallic. I think a lot of this palette's going to be that creamy metallic formulation. So that's the rose gold. The rose gold is really pretty.
I agree.
Let me see if I can find one that would be the one that's similar to it. The Viseart shadows are very different, where in the sense that they're pigmented, but they don't have a lot of fallout. Where the Morphe palette has a lot of fallout, that's the big difference. It's the way that they're milled. So this is the Morphe in the middle. And then I put two Viseart shadows on either side. One's a little bit more bronze and one's a little bit more pink. These are the Viseart, this one, and this is the Morphe. But you can see the color families and shades here are pretty similar. So far we haven't found like an exact dupe, but we found some pretty close. You can't compare the formulas. I'm just comparing color. I would say that so far we found close enough dupes for the last two colors. The next one is this bronzy shade. This one right here on the end. Oh, that one's got a little bit less powder to it. And some nice color payoff. Yeah. And this one I would say is like the second color that I swatched. Yeah, like those are almost bang on.
One's a bit more pigmented than the other.
No. This is more orange, this is more bronze. Okay, second row. We have this kind of, there's a lot of bronzy golds in this. This one's going to be highly metallic, I can tell, just by the way it's coming off.
I need my arm. That's a very coppery.
Yeah, it's like a copper penny. And I'm trying to
shiny copper penny, not a dirty copper penny.
I don't think there's like any color in here that would match that one exactly. This one's a more light brown, or oh, this is kind of almost an olive green actually.
Really?
It looks very different in here than it does on Alex's arm. Can you hold your arm up? This is it's this shade. It looks kind of like a brown green here, but here it's very brown.
I don't see any green in there.
I see a lot of green in there. The next one is a deeper brown, or at least it's supposed to be. These two are very similar. Like, very, very similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
One's a little bit darker and
those two
lighter,
are very, very close.
but it's very much the same, or very similar color.
Now the silver taupe color in the Morphe palette is right here. It's kind of almost got a purple tinge to it. And there are two
It's even like a gray, like a dark
There's
gray.
two in the Viseart palette. There's a light one and a dark one. I'm going to probably go with the darkest one for comparison.
It looks like it's going to be darker.
Yeah, this is more of like a black.
Like
Okay,
that.
so the next one is a gorgeous rose gold metallic. Now the bottom row is probably my favorite in this palette. It's just really pretty.
Ooh.
This one I think is most like this color from Viseart. This color might be a little bit more pink. This is the Viseart on this side. Yeah, it's a little bit more pink, but they're both very close. The next one is kind of almost like a color from, it reminds me a lot of NARS's Orgasm.
Ooh.
Those two are very close, now that I can see them.
It's like a goldy orange. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
I
Then
want
there's
that on
another,
your face right now.
and there's another really pretty burgundy color.
That's another coppery silver, coppery bronze rather.
I don't know which one of these will be most like the Viseart ones. Maybe I'll just like swatch the 3 Viseart ones and see what we end up with.
Maybe swatch the Viseart ones down below.
Yeah, I'll put the Viseart ones like maybe like, well, we already have this one. I'll put this orange one down here, and then I'll put this one up here.
That's not metallic at all.
That's more burgundy.
Yeah, it's like a ruddy brown.
I think that one's gonna match this last color in here. So this is the last color in this palette. I know these swatches were a little bit confusing because I kind of jumped back and forth between palettes here. I think if I were to build up this outside Viseart color, we would end up with a color very similar. Yeah. There you go. Let's move the fat around on Alex's
Stop
arm.
wiggling my fat.
Do you guys see how beautiful this palette is?
Thank you for hiding my fat
though?
rolls behind my arm
Beautiful.
with the screenshot,
Beautiful.
the thumbnail.
Overall, I would say that these two definitely have a lot of the same color families, but as far as quality go, as much as I think these are beautiful, beautiful shades, and for the price point of $14.99, you can't go wrong with this palette. The shades in this one have less fallout, they blend a little bit better, they're a little bit smoother. You can't compare the type of product these are, you can only compare the colors, and I would say that both of them have beautiful, beautiful shades. I was really skeptical about these Morphe palettes, because when I first saw them, I was immediately thought of all of the Viseart palettes that kind of match these. After trying them, swatching them, and playing with them, I would say for $14.99, especially with the quality you're getting and the amount of eyeshadow you're getting, these are actually really great palettes. If you were looking at some of the funner Viseart palettes, but you know they're out of your price range, check out Morphe's website. I'll link it down below. They have another one of these as well, a 4th one that they just brought out. But yeah, these are really great alternatives. They're super inexpensive, and I think they're really, really beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Bye. Good, I got your trap where I want you. You let me show you.
This is recording.
Oh, hi. Hey, YouTube. Sorry.
Can I go now?